Previously on Work of Art.
We brought you to an appliance graveyard. Your challenge is to use at least one of those appliances for your next work of art.
So I figured this would be a good time to sleep with any.
It's a challenge to make junk not look like junk.
All right, judges, let's see how they did. Miles, you made a true work of art. You get immunity in the next challenge. Trong, your work of art didn't work for us. I'm sorry, it's time to go. At stake for the winner, a solo show at the world-famous Brooklyn Museum, and $100,000 provided by Prismacolor Art Uninhibited. This is Work of Art, the next great artist.
Win so bad, but I think that Miles deserved that a little bit.
Deserved to win?
I don't know.
Deserved to win? I think it was overdoing it.
Miles has won 2 in a row. He's very talented, but what do I gotta do to win a challenge, you know? Sleep in the gallery or make an ass the concrete. Let's do it, guys.
I see China with a bunch of question marks around her. Ooh, it feels like a game show quiz.
Morning, guys. Before you find out about your next challenge, I need you to pick a paint tube from this box. Miles, we'll start with you.
Monster.
Thank you, Miles.
I think I'm going to have to create a monster out of 6 Helvetica question marks, and that's pretty much one of the easiest things you could ever ask me to do.
Judith, why don't you come up?
Love.
Good versus evil.
Immortal.
Monster. Me and Miles have the same word. It's almost as if fate has put us against each other to kind of compete on this level.
Immortal. Time travel.
Good versus evil.
Adventure.
Time travel. Love. Judas, the other person who drew the name Love, and I definitely don't want to work with her.
Adventure.
All right. You guys wondering what these question marks are for?
Yes.
Follow me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Oh, cool.
This is the best day of my life.
When I see the other side, I flip out. There are 6 of the most classic novels ever.
We're all just looking at these wonderful book covers, and we're all very curious about what the challenge is.
You've all heard the adage, you can't judge a book by its cover. But this week, that's exactly what's going to happen. You'll each be creating covers for these classic books. Although 2 of you share the same book title, this is an individual challenge. So we've got a very special guest this week to tell you how important a great cover can be. Catherine Court, president and publisher for Penguin Books.
Hi.
Catherine, can you please tell us more about Penguin and your history with cover art?
Sure. We've been working very hard finding great artists to do the covers of our books. Famous people like Damien Hirst, who allowed us to use a piece of his artwork on Darwin's Origin of the Species. You have to just think of something that will distinguish itself from everything else in the marketplace. I think that's pretty much my best advice.
And there's one more thing. Catherine, do you want to tell them the good news?
The winning design will be published on a Penguin book, and that book will be for sale all over America.
I'm not
not experienced in the art world, so to win this challenge and have my artwork published on a cover for my family, for my girlfriend, you know, for my niece, for my dogs, would just be incredible.
Since this is such a great opportunity, the winner will not receive immunity in the next challenge. You have until midnight tonight and only 1 hour tomorrow to work on your covers. So Catherine and I will see you tomorrow. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As an artist, it's about visibility. That's the most important thing. This challenge, I think, is a great opportunity for that. Millions of people will see the book. I have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm thinking about good versus evil and the duality of man. So I want to put those polar contrasts in the painting.
I've seen the movie Pride and Prejudice, but haven't read the book. It's a love story, it's a little tragic. I feel that the silhouette of a woman is something that both men and women would be drawn to. So I'm doing this partially nude photo shoot, and I'm going to do an ink drawing based off of that.
My book is The Time Machine. For this challenge, I'm gonna make it very simple. I want bright colors for this piece, something that you could see all the way across the room.
$99.95.
Just kind of be menacing, kind of walking in. A lot of my work is slick and commercial. I make a lot of books myself, so I'm definitely comfortable doing graphic design work.
I still look sad, right?
Not sad, but like you just went through some. I have never read Dracula before, but the piece I'm working on is more of a contemporary feel. I want to represent Dracula in a much more young, modern way.
Such pretty hair.
Having your art on the cover of a book that's going to be seen all over is like a ton of pressure. I started feeling really guilty that I was about to design a book cover for a book that I'd never read in my life before. So then I timed how long it took me to read one page. Pretty much worked out that I could read the book in 4 hours. Hopefully I'll still have, you know, good enough to finish the design that I thought of.
Somebody who's Dracula should just paint the dude from Twilight.
This is a multi-layered book with a lot of themes in it, some of which I can relate to, mainly because I'm a Christian. Certainly the idea of immortality has a very heavy spiritual connotation. I really need to redeem myself, especially after almost getting kicked off in the last challenge.
Where's my straight edge? Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know, not bringing a ruler is like...
Can you just get off my back? Thank you.
I have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Instantly, I think that maybe I should do a self-portrait because I am more known for my performance work, and I think of myself as a Jekyll and Hyde character. So this is all pretty fun for me.
John, what do you think?
Oh, my God. It's getting there. I love making artwork that is primarily focused on themes that have to deal with my reality, whether it be gay culture or what I like to drink at a bar. So I want to make a time machine that I would want to ride in. I want the piece to look like it's glowing.
3, divide that by 2, 1.5, that'll be how far you'll go in on the edges.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The book is about a time traveler that falls in love with this feminine elf creature named Weena. I want my cover to look a little bit like Victorian wallpaper. It has a lot of the clues to the narrative inside the book.
Always taking off her clothes, man.
This book, Frankenstein, is really important to me. It's just so much about humanity, how we're just alienated from ourselves, from God, from everyone else. I have the idea of doing this sculpture that I'm then gonna photograph. It turns out anything close to what I have in my head is gonna be a knockout.
So I decided to do the photo shoot in the bathroom, even though it's hard to do it because I'm actually kind of a shy person. As a child, I didn't have too many friends. So for me, art's always been a really personal way of expressing my feelings, and it's the way that I deal with my feelings of isolation.
I go and walk into the bathroom. Jacqueline is there doing a photo shoot. It looks like a pretty sensual photo shoot to me. I'm not sure how that fits in with the era of Pride and Prejudice. It was like she was on a big set, but she's really in the bathroom. Go, Jackie, go.
The idea that this was a challenge to create a cover, that felt more like a job, and I just don't think that way. I'm a fine artist. I'm going to use my fingerprint approach in a floral pattern that will be suggestive of the gardens and the romanticism of that era.
Cool. Perfect.
Pressing a button is really hard.
Miles is reading Frankenstein and actually spent a good amount of time to the point where people were like, whoa, is he going to be finished?
How gutsy is that to actually take the time to read an entire novel before you do the cover for it? I'm worried about Miles.
Coming up on Work of Art.
Man, it sucks, man. I wanted to do really good on this project. But that would all suck if I just went home this time.
I think you're intense. I think I am.
Judith's a really nice person, but when she gets really tired, she starts saying super crazy things to me.
The challenge is to create a book cover for a classic novel, and the winner of the challenge gets their book cover published, which is insanity.
Like, how many hours do we have?
Yeah, we don't have much time.
I really want to win this one because this book is so important to me. It's the only one of the 6 books I've read, and I've got some of the art tattooed on me. It's of Alice after the baby turned into the pig. I can completely relate my personal life to this book because of Alice's imagination. I kind of live in my imagination all the time.
It's very, very, very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Then Eric's painting, the face on his Alice, I think looks a little too old. I think that that's not going to fly with the judges.
I can't believe how brilliant it is.
Miles said that he read the entire book. I can't really believe that. That doesn't seem possible.
I'm just sitting in there like shocked at how good, and she wrote it when she was 19.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh my God, it's just so good.
Maybe Miles will read for this piece. Do you know?
After reading the book, I was totally just inspired. There's this brilliant scene in the book where Frankenstein describes his witnessing of lightning striking a log. And so the thing that I'm gonna do is start an electrical fire and burn the board in this really destructive way, and then put Mary Shelley's name somewhere in there. But all I really care about is starting an electrical fire.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Good? I'm very, very keen to see how you're attacking your 3rd challenge. Hey, John, what book cover are you doing?
I'm doing The Time Machine. I kind of wanted to make the Time Machine, so this is my interpretation.
It's interesting. I think it is graphically very striking, the colors and the sort of sheen finish that you've given to it. One could just say this is a very attractive, abstract composition and not see the link to the time machine.
Right. That's why I was going to put some smoke on it and maybe some ink on top of some of the shapes. But I'm kind of nervous because I think that might, like something like this.
I would be nervous too because it could make it more cluttered, and your challenge is to combine something which could be quite striking and at the same time really conveys a link to the contents of the book.
Right.
Good luck. Thank you so much. Hey, Peregrine, you're doing The Time Machine.
By H.G. Wells.
You have a fairly precise idea of how you want to present it?
Yeah, I think doing a bit of the fruit and the flowers and the young creatures that are in the book.
And you feel you are conveying the spirit of the book? Well, all right. For a cover, you want something that is relatively simple and not too intricate and not too complicated. How do you think the judges may respond to it?
I don't know so far.
If it makes the cover, you go to the bookstore, you think I'll instantly be drawn to it?
Instantly.
Buy it straight away?
Yes.
Well, that's the test. So
Yes.
we'll see. Good luck. So tell me, which book have you got?
Pride and Prejudice, but I don't know too much about it.
Have you read the book?
Well, I mean, I read the synopsis. I think that's...
You had the synopsis?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, do you have any ideas already what kind of lettering you want to put?
It's gonna be very, like more modern, but modern classic, not like, you know, I don't know, modern.
Okay, well, keep it up.
I knew I wanted to do something that communicated the, you know, the love story between Elizabeth and Darby, and I don't know if that's right, but yeah, sorry. I should probably read it.
So show me what you've done.
So I have this version, which looks much more like a romance novel.
You know, show me your second possibility.
This one.
This second possibility without any question.
Yes.
Far, far, far better than the first one. Instantly, it has something intriguing, something menacing. My feeling is that you're nearly there, actually. If not completely there.
Great.
Maybe you can have an early night.
All right, well, thank you very much for your opinion.
Thank you, Mark.
Have a good day.
Mark's also working on Dracula with me, and he's making a very, very commercial book cover. So I am running as fast as I can in the opposite direction. It's predominantly a landscape created in watercolor, but it looks really good, and we'll see what happens.
So, tell me what you're planning to do here.
I thought of using my fingerprint work because it sort of comes out sort of floral, and that's sort of back from the romantics of Pride and Prejudice.
How does it relate really to the contents and the spirit of the book?
Well, the flowers and the romance and the gardens, I've read Jane Austen, so... I thought about reversing the words backwards and forward on both sides. You know, you have to kind of make it out.
I think it's possibly risky. That's my feeling, because you really want to sell the product.
Yeah.
People go into the bookstore, have to buy the book, have to be drawn to it.
Simone makes some suggestions, but I'm the person that's in there with the materials, and those are my eyes, and it's me. So I'm moving it around, and I'm making my choices on my own.
Artists, I see you still have a little bit of time tonight for this great challenge. To be on the cover of a Penguin book is the ultimate accolade. So I wish you a lot of courage, and I know you'll be amazing. Thanks so much.
Anyway, the details don't matter. What I'm just saying, I'm preparing for ahead. You and I are going to be around right now.
Yeah.
We're both, I think you're intense, I think I am.
Oh, okay.
And we're both just like, it may happen.
Judith's a really nice person, but when she gets really tired, she starts saying super crazy things to me.
It's not for any of the wrong reasons. It's for misunderstandings. It's because we're going to be crossing paths a lot.
Honestly, anytime Judith starts in on one of her kind of crazy cuckoo rants, I just start nodding until she's done.
Because it could be, because I maybe I lean that way.
Don't even worry about it.
So, okay, bro.
It's getting late in the night, so I set up my camera to take this photograph, and this is going to be the foundation for the image that I'm building. I'm not feeling the photograph. It's just not as powerful as I thought it was. I just know that I'm not happy with putting this image up.
Shoot. Yeah, it sucks, man. I wanted to be really good on this project. But that would all suck if I just went home this time.
Coming up on Work of Art.
Oh my God, time's ticking. I am freaking out. I have absolutely nothing done.
Your time is up.
come up with a new book cover for Penguin Books. Great way to get your work out into the real world. There's much more of a competitive vibe going on because people really want to win it. You can feel the push.
I spelled Jekyll wrong. Like, I was so harried and, like, frantic.
How can you do that? The book is right in front of you.
Spelled it wrong because I was just rushing and, like, not thinking.
Eric, can I use your lighter, man?
Oh, are you doing that soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
Will the power maybe go out?
Maybe. Setting up an electrical fire is a relatively easy process. All you have to do is cross the wires of an extension cord and then plug it into a light socket. It's a 50-50 shot that you're either going to get a good electrical fire or a mild shock in your hands. Nope, it won't work. In the end, I had to light the turpentine on fire with a lighter.
I look up at Judith's piece. I have no idea what she is doing. She's like finger painting all over this canvas. She had such a horrible review last challenge.
It's a little all over the place.
It looks like a bunch of junk on a table.
As I begin the fingerprints and I'm finding that they're smudgy looking, I think maybe if I keep putting more on, they'll get better. But actually, it's not getting better.
No, I don't like it.
But you know what? Think about it. Like, put a tight when you have a
No, I'm gonna give
typeface,
one
when you have a
without a
title. No.
Judith's kind of panicking, and I know that she wasn't very comfortable with the book cover. She's just been doing art for a long time, and to be forced to do something, I don't think sits very well with her.
Who's got time for titles?
Judith is really derogatory towards the concept of art being commercial, which I took as a little insulting because that's what I do and I never feel like a sellout.
She is definitely wearing on everyone, not just me.
But when I want to put eat me, but I'm thinking about the person who buys the book, opens it up, and inside is a cookie, and it says, "Eat it, me."
That's awesome.
We have 30 minutes left tonight, and I'm just not happy with like the way it turned out. I know it needs to be a lot stronger and contrast needs to be a lot heavier, and I'm getting nervous about going home.
When I look at my piece, I don't feel completely convinced that I've given myself to the challenge. I feel like John's piece is better than my piece. It really is. It's bright and fun. I'd pick up that book just because of the cover. It's super great.
Do everything as much as you can now in the 15 minutes you got.
Let's go! Time's up! Set your brushes down!
It's midnight and I have absolutely nothing done. I have a few ideas holding on for dear life in the back of my head, but I got a lot of thinking to do, for real.
Judith, you're not going home. I'm confused. I'm going to do something completely counterinsurgency tomorrow. I'm going to take the letters of Pride and Prejudice and I'm going to make up some words. So it's Ekkedujerp. You think it's funny?
There's two types of crazy. There's like crazy, fun, spontaneous, like exciting crazy. But then there's crazy like, oh, okay. Judith might be a little bit crazy.
We're losing it, dude.
I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I don't wanna make assumptions, but I'm okay with the fact that I'm going home. So it's the morning of the elimination. When I get into the studio, I need to hit the ground running. I have 59 minutes to get a finished Frankenstein book cover. These next few minutes are so crucial. Time's ticking. And I have basically started over my cover of Frankenstein. I want to make the text into a stencil so that I can spray paint the text because I feel like that's going to give it a really gritty, graphic, modern feel to it.
I'm not happy with the piece. It could be much better, especially given the strength of the original image. I'm very disappointed that I wasn't able to have more time.
No guarantees in life. You have to take chances. You jump off the edges of cliffs.
Judith's piece is out of control, and she's talking really loudly to herself behind me, and it's driving me crazy.
Life is an adventure. It's just this planet flying through space.
That's great.
I made a time machine ready to lift off. There is a ladder next to it, and it looks like you just could climb up and zoom away.
Hey, 10 minutes, guys.
Hey, we'll see what happens.
Tape, 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 any tape. I don't care. Where's it at? Where's it start?
Oh my God, I am freaking out. I'm running around like a madman, as usual.
Artists, your time is up. Can I please ask everyone to take your work and get ready to go to the gallery, and let's have a great show.
I'm actually finished right at the last minute. I've never been finished ahead of time. I'm really methodical with my work, and sometimes that gets me in trouble. And I know with a competition like this, it's all about time, so that's gonna be a major barrier for me to overcome.
Coming up on Work of Art.
I don't know if this is gonna jump off the shelf.
It works as a piece. I'm just wondering, does it work as a book cover?
You wanted to show yourself, and you backed out.
There was this man who went to the cinema to look at the movie Dr. Zhivago. And then in front of him there was a dog, and throughout the whole movie the dog was crying and crying and crying. So at the end of the movie he went up to the owner and said, "I must congratulate you, I've never seen such an intelligent dog, because it's such a sad movie and your dog is crying so much." And then the owner of the dog said, "Yes, I don't understand the dog at all, because he hated the book." And so, anyway, but...
Hi, everyone. Hi. Of course, you remember your judges: critic Jerry Saltz, Jeannie Greenberg Rowaton, art advisor and gallerist. Hi. Gallery owner Bill Powers.
Hello.
And we have a special guest this week, artist and author Jonathan Santlofer.
Hi, it's good to see you.
Your challenge was to create cover art for a classic novel, and the winner will have their cover published by Penguin. Judges, let's see how they did.
Let's go.
It's got a mixture of the mechanical and the organic.
Yeah.
Kind of what you were going for.
Perfect, yeah. This gallery show is different because there's the constraint of doing justice to a piece of literature.
You have this kind of weird, witchy DNA strand.
I wish this would have related to the book somehow.
I think that the judges, they're going to like it because I did something different, and there's a lot of creativity within that.
I like that you can remove this and it has the little Eat Me biscuit inside.
It's sort of like real art. I don't know that it's like a real book cover.
I just think it's weak.
I agree.
Now that I see the piece installed in the gallery, I think it looks really good. I can really paint well with water media.
I'm here in this competition for opportunities like the Penguin Challenge. That's why I'm in, for more exposure, to really make a career out of my artwork.
It has this unfolding quality. And it has these brighter colors. Yeah, and you would be drawn to it.
I'm pretty pleased about the way that people are responding to my work. I feel like everything that I intended to get across did get across.
I think the lettering's great. I think the image is good. I don't think they have anything to do with each other.
At first, I was kind of happy with my piece, but now seeing it at the gallery, it looks kind of sad up on the wall.
I'm fine with my piece, but it's not kicking my ass across the gallery.
Interesting, this little teddy bear.
The weird
I wouldn't
teddy bear.
associate that with the
And
time
a
machine.
sailboat, and a crab.
This might be like the Little Mermaid.
I think my book cover captured the upshot of the story, and I think it also sort of modernized the tale.
Pride and Prejudice.
I don't know if this is going to jump off the shelf.
I don't know either.
So few people have made the text really big, and all the artwork should be in service of the title.
I should have stuck with it as graphic image and left it at that. I felt like it was a missed opportunity, and I'm very sad about it.
That doesn't work in terms of book design.
I feel real good, especially when I see my piece hang in the gallery with the proper lighting on it. If I could win this challenge, I think it would give me more confidence thinking I can win the whole competition.
I always look to see right away how my piece looks. And it looked a lot neater and more graphic and interesting, I thought. I didn't just go literally and do a book cover.
Jane Austen.
And the book would be?
Well, clearly the book is Edderp and Edderp.
One of my favorites.
Oh, Judith.
It's neat how the blood forms the backbone of the D of Dracula.
Yeah.
I think I've done enough with my image to be ranked towards the top. Above all else, I think my design is professional and clean and book cover-like.
What do you look for in a book cover?
Simplicity is often important because, you know, we're all in bookstores and we're looking at a table of 40 books, and the thing that pops out at us is the thing we're going to pick up and say, oh, this is sort of interesting.
Catherine, thank you so much for your input.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
We'd like to see the following artists for the crit. John. Judith. Peregrine. Mark. And Jacqueline. If I didn't call your name, you're safe and can move on to the next challenge. You can say goodnight to your peers. Okay, John, let's start with your piece.
I was thinking, what would my time machine look like if I was H.G. Wells? And this is what I came up with.
What I like about it is that it does look like the way a human head might look in the years 702,801.
And I like that there's action in the title, and you feel that pull to the right.
I think the small ladder, though, is a kind of great touch because it is the thing that pulls you in to say, well, what is this thing?
Thank you. Now, I'm guessing that you had Pride and Prejudice based on the author's name. What language is this in?
It's Ederp Isidujerp. Well, actually, it reads Pride and Prejudice backwards.
It's really not a good thing to make your public and your reader feel stupid. And I felt a little stupid, like, how come I don't know what language this is?
I'm a fine artist. I don't design on assignment. I work with words and text.
So you're special compared to everybody else.
No, I'm just me.
What you did is you defaulted to something that you love to do, which is to write backwards.
In terms of just sheer beautiful, I have not seen pink look so drab in a long time.
Well, thank you, Judith. Mark, why don't you tell us about your Dracula?
I thought it was important to make the image as contemporary as possible and not cliched. Even though Dracula is a cliche at this point, with the blood, with the black and white.
Number one, it's the most commercial work that's here, and that was the challenge.
I love how the posture of him is rather erotic.
I think he is an erotic image. I think, in a way, it could have been almost cooler with less blood, and you just could have had the line of blood doing the D coming down. It would have been an even more sophisticated, less pulpy cover for me.
But this is a very direct cover for Dracula.
Thank you.
I thought it was a little serendipitous that I got this book because it contains stories about very morally ambiguous characters. That's something I'm very concerned with in my own work.
I actually want to get to you taking a picture of yourself and coming up with that.
The reason I didn't just use the photograph was because I feel that ink wash is a very seductive medium.
But on the other hand, the semi-nude picture of yourself would have had so much more moral ambiguity and so much more cutting edge.
I think you wanted to show yourself, and you backed out. And what you left us with is something generic, and that's a problem.
Why did you not double check the spelling of the author's name before you wrote it?
Oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
It's Austin with an E, not an I.
Wow, I don't even know what to say.
Judith, you had the same book as Jacqueline. What do you think about her piece?
I just feel like the drawing approach and then the application of the paint seems really not skilled at all.
Thank you. Peregrine, will you please tell us about your Time Machine cover?
I really wanted to create something that would have a little bit of depth. It would be photographed and there would be shadow behind it, and that would be the image of the cover.
Peregrine, as a book cover for the Time Machine, it's a complete failure. I think that you've made a very elegant, interesting-looking object that has nothing to do with the book.
The Time Machine is the classic science fiction novel, and you don't read sci-fi anywhere in this image.
This is cutesy wallpaper. We're trying to get the reader to pick your book up. Wallpaper is what fades out behind us.
Thank you very much, Peregrine. We have plenty to discuss. You can head back up to the studio until we call you back. Thank you.
I really want you to think about, like, you know, what you could have done differently and to stop, you know, it's just, they're just trying to, like, push you to I don't know, push you to question why you do things.
Okay, how did the artists do this week?
This was really a relevant challenge to these artists doing jacket art for novels.
Picasso did it, Miro did it. It was a sort of honorable thing for an artist to do, to sort of collaborate to make a beautiful, beautiful book cover.
Okay, let's talk about some of our favorites.
Mark was one of the few people in this challenge to integrate the text and the image.
We all love the photograph. We all love how he treated that.
It definitely draws you in. The doors are open. There's this kind of sexy fellow holding this stuff.
It jumps out at you. As soon as I saw it, I thought, that's a book cover. What about John's piece?
What I like about John in the Time Machine is he gave us this head from the planet Pineapple, and he's calling it the Time Machine, and I'm looking at it thinking, okay.
It's instantly arresting. I'm very much in love with the little ladder because it's this little quirky touch that changes an abstraction into a thing, which is something I love.
What do we think about Jacqueline's Pride and Prejudice?
I am seeing her in a live model drawing class in middle school.
And come on, you can't misspell the author's name. If you can't get Jane Austen's name right, I mean, I don't know how you can defend your piece.
Judith.
You know, when you're doing a cover and you turn the title backwards, it just made me cringe.
When you look at it, you don't know that it's for Pride and Prejudice. I think it's just her way of saying, I'm not going to play.
And I'm all for breaking the rules, but if you're gonna break them, show up with something that's more interesting.
Let's talk about Peregrine's Time Machine.
I always thought the Time Machine was a dark novel, and this is the first time I've ever seen it as a sort of a happy, peppy, let's go to the petting zoo.
It is not a fairy tale.
just burn this, you know. I mean, it looks like an arts and crafts project. Get rid of it.
Okay, I think we've made all our decisions. John, Mark, you both created cover art as engaging as the words on the page. But there can only be one winner. Congratulations. John, you made a true work of art. That means that your book will be published by Penguin and sold nationwide. That is quite an honor.
It's wild. My dad's a librarian, historian, so I have a big history with books. To have one of my designs grace the cover, I'm overjoyed.
Congratulations, John. It's a terrific cover. It's got that thing that's going to pull people in right across the room.
Thank you.
Thank you both. You can head up to the studio, and please send your colleagues down.
Ladies, I told you. You're the winner.
Congratulations! Well, come in for the hug anyway. We don't want to leave you out.
Oh, no, he deserves it. He deserves it.
But now the bad news.
We have to go downstairs.
The judges would like to see the three of you downstairs.
Good luck, ladies.
The art world is fickle. Your work would put these classics out of print.
Jacqueline, it sounds like you started it out to give us something special, but it ended up as a cliche.
Peregrine, you were given an exciting sci-fi adventure, and you gave us a dull fairy tale.
Judith, both as a painting and as a book cover, your piece fell short.
Jacqueline, Judith, Peregrine, one of you is leaving us tonight. Judith, your work of art didn't work for us. It's time for you to go.
Well, I guess I just wasn't able to adapt to the situation. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Judith. Yeah.
We'll see you on the Lower East Side.
I will probably, sweeping the sidewalk. I am disappointed about leaving. What? Maybe I didn't really belong in this kind of situation, away from, my own process. I am an established art maker, and my life is about making art. I wouldn't have thought that my piece would be the one to send me home. Jacqueline's piece stayed. I mean, please.
Next on Work of Art.
I'm really excited that we get to see work by Andre Serrano.
He took a crucifix and put it in a jar of his own piss.
We want you to create your own shocking piece of art.
I want to make a work that would shock myself.
I feel that we end up objectifying ourselves.
I have some news that may come a bit of a shock to you.
So because you shout out all the time?
Don't ask me for advice.
I think that's a bag of
I don't smell anything.
To learn more about Work of Art, The Next Great Artist, visit BravoTV.com.
Matches, pretty matches.